Well, meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has given Hamas until Sunday evening to respond to his peace proposal for Gaza. Qatar, Egypt and Turkey are in talks with Hamas leaders, trying to get them to agree. But the staunch support of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan for the militant Islamists has long been a major source of tension with Israel. Relations between Turkey and Israel have worsened over the war in Gaza, and some experts are warning that Israel could even try to hit Hamas targets in Turkey. Our correspondent Julia Hahn reports now from Istanbul.
A message of support for the Palestinians. It's a sentiment that's strong and solid, not only here in Istanbul but across Turkey. Israel's war in Gaza has claimed over 65,000 lives so far, and expanded to include strikes and offensives in other countries. Some wonder whether Turkey could be next.
Of course Israel is a risk factor. How could it not be? It's a risk factor for us, and they are just waiting for a pretext to attack.
If they attack us, they will get their just punishment. I don't think they'll strike. I don't think they have the courage to do so.
The mood on the streets echoes recent warnings by Turkish President Erdogan.
We are telling the world Israel's aggression is now an absolute threat that must be stopped for our region.
Israel's attack on a meeting of Hamas officials in Qatar last month put Ankara on high alert. The operation killed 6 people and is widely seen as having crossed a line, as Qatar is a close US ally and a mediator for Gaza ceasefire talks.
Turkey is highly concerned. For Ankara, I think Israeli strikes, not just in Qatar, but also in Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Yemen, are not isolated tactical events, but I would say they are part of a broader Israeli strategy to establish a fragmented buffer zone of weak and pacified states around it.
Since the massacre of October 7, 2023, Israel has hit targets in several other countries in Turkey's neighborhood. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly vowed to destroy the militant Palestinian Hamas wherever it exists.
And I say to Qatar and all nations who harbor terrorists, you either expel them or you bring them to justice. Because if you don't, we will.
Netanyahu's recent apology to Qatar, prompted by US President Trump, will have done little to quieten Turkish concerns, especially since Erdogan is a staunch supporter of Hamas. Their officials have regularly visited Turkey, and some senior members are believed to live here. But would Israel consider attacking targets in Turkey? It's a regional heavyweight, boasting NATO's second largest military. Experts on Israel and Turkey say an overt strike, like the one in Qatar, is unlikely.
If Israel genuinely wants to go after the remaining Hamas leaders, and there's not a whole lot of them after 2 years of fighting against Hamas, I guess it has different options of doing that rather than dropping bombs from airplanes in different countries.
What could be a potential point of escalation? Targeted killings on Turkish soil. So an attempt by Mossad to hit against Hamas leaders sheltered in Turkey, and that's, I think, the most likely scenario.
Even so, Turkey is boosting its defenses. As Israel attacked Iran's nuclear facilities in June, Erdogan announced an increase in missile production, and he recently inaugurated Turkey's Steel Dome integrated air defense system.
Turkey is taking precautionary measures to, accelerate its indigenous air defense and aerospace programs to come up to a standard when, if one day it has to face Israel in the battlefield, that it will have a stronger front line.
And I think until now, both countries are trying to avoid direct confrontation between them, and it's good that this is the case. I hope it will continue.
Here in Istanbul, most people tell us they do not want to see another escalation. They want the war in Gaza to end, and for the Palestinians and Turks to live in peace.